I think my wife is possessed. It started with small things, forgotten conversations, hours she just couldn't explain. Then, I checked the security camera and saw her standing awake at 2:17 in the morning, staring straight ahead for hours. That's when I realized whatever inside of her is learning. Today's story is entitled, I Think My Wife is Possessed, and it was uploaded to the r/no sleep subreddit by Throwaway Possession. And it starts like this. I think my wife is possessed. I haven't said that out loud until now. Not to friends, not to family, not even to myself, really. Because once you say something like that, you can't take it back. And lately, nothing feels reversible. It started with little things. Things so small I almost feel stupid for noticing them at all. She forgot where she put her keys. Then her phone. Then entire conversations we'd had just hours earlier. At first, it was normal forgetfulness. We were both busy. Life does that to people. But then she started forgetting how she did things. She'd stand in the kitchen holding a mug, staring at it like she'd never seen one before. I'd asked her once what she was doing. She blinked, smiled, and said nothing. But her voice sounded rehearsed, like she'd practiced that answer. The first night that scared me was when I woke up and she wasn't in bed. I found her standing in the living room, completely still, staring at the wall, lights off, eyes open. I called her name. No response. When I touched her shoulder, she flinched hard enough to knock over a lamp. She screamed, not in fear, in anger. She didn't remember it in the morning. Said she'd slept the whole night. I believed her. I really wanted to. Things escalated after that. She started locking doors she never used to lock, rearranging furniture, covering mirrors. I asked why. She said she didn't like being watched. That was the first time she said something to make my stomach drop, because she didn't say it like it was a joke. She said it like it was a fact. I started noticing gaps in her behavior, entire hours she couldn't account for, receipts from stores she swore she hadn't visited, mud on her shoes after days she claimed she never left the house. One night, I came home early from work. She was in the bathroom, talking. Not on the phone, just talking. Low and steady. I listened through the door. It wasn't English. It wasn't any language I recognized. And when I knocked, the talking stopped instantly. She opened the door and smiled. Everything okay? She asked. Her pupils were dilated, too wide. I brought a small cross home a few days later. I'm not even religious, I just needed something to test the idea forming in my head. I left it on the nightstand. She didn't notice it at first, but when she did, her face changed. Not shock, disgust. Pure, instinctive disgust. She knocked it onto the floor and demanded to know why it was there. When I told her, she laughed. But it wasn't her laugh. It was lower, colder. That night, I dreamed of her standing over me, whispering my name. When I woke up, she was asleep, facing the wall, murmuring softly. I installed a camera in the living room, just to be sure I wasn't losing my mind. The footage, showing her waking up at exactly 2:17 a.m. every night. Walking into the living room, standing perfectly still, staring directly at the camera for hours. She never blinked. She never moved. And every morning, she claimed she had slept through the night. The last straw was the journal. I found it hidden under the bed. It was mine. My handwriting. Entries describing things I don't even remember doing. Conversations I don't remember having. Each entry ended the same way. She's almost gone. I don't know how much time I have. I don't know if she's still in there at all. Sometimes, she looks at me like she loves me. Other times, she looks at me like she's studying me. Like she's learning how to be her. And I'm terrified of the day I can't tell the difference anymore, because I think that day is coming soon. And when it does, I don't think she'll need me anymore. The end. Well, I really like that one a lot. I think if there was anything that you could do differently, I mean, of course there's a lot of things, but one that stands out right away is do something, right? A lot of the people in these stories, they kind of just keep going down this bad path as though there's no other options or they didn't really have a choice. When in reality, I really do feel like you did have a lot of choices. You could try and have an intervention, point it out. You could try and have somebody else come over and validate what you're thinking. Like, if they have any siblings, your wife or whoever you're talking about that might be possessed. So that you could have a little bit of confirmation saying, yeah, this is pretty weird. You could do a whole number of things or just anything at all. And I think realistically, that's just the point. The point of a lot of these demon stories is if the protagonist is the one who is possessed, I think the moral is really try to get a grip and help before you can no longer. And then if it is not the protagonist, I think the moral of the story is learn how to help those around you. Learn to give help when you see that someone that you love is in need. I think truly there are too many times in our lives when we see that there are people around us that we love that are going through pain or anything. And we notice it because we know them, so we know when there's something wrong. But at the same time, we don't even do anything about it. We don't try and help them. We don't try and talk about it. Nothing. Even just sitting down with someone who's really going through it, whether it be mental issues, whether it be they got laid off at work, whatever, whatever. There's a million different reasons to be off. But it only takes a minute to ask them how they're doing. It only takes a minute to say, hey, is there anything I can do to help you out? Hey, is there anything that you've been going through recently, right? I think definitely, especially as men, it's so easy to just kind of bottle it all up. And then one day you're so broken, held together by duct tape, you just can't anymore. And it all comes out and then you do something stupid. So really, I'm not saying that it's just men that face that problem. I'm just saying in general, I think that is a problem that men face a lot. So with all that being said, I think that the lesson for today's story is learn to be humble with your problems and open up to people around you that love you. And if you see that someone you love is in such a great pain or that they're just off, learn to go and ask them what's wrong before you can't anymore, before you lose the opportunity. Because truly, not all of the opportunities that we have in our lives will stick around forever. Eventually those windows will close and we will no longer be able to. And then we will have to look back for the rest of our lives and say, oh boy, if only I would have blank. What I'm saying is, with all of these stories that we read and all of the analysis that we do, I think the main point between a lot of these Reddit stories, a lot of these shorter stories, is do something. Don't just sit around and wait. Live a life full of intention and effort. Do things, make mistakes, live your life, love people, help people, support people, so that you never have to look back and wonder what if. So you never have to wonder or have any regret. You can just live knowing that you did what you did, and that's it. If you like today's story, please let me know down below. Did you get any different lessons? Did you learn anything? Is there anything I can do to improve my videos? Once again, I'm Cece. This is the Crucible of Character. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing so that you don't miss out on tomorrow's story. For the rest of this week, it'll be demon stories, and then next week, I think we're moving on to alien stories. And with that, I really am trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. I would love your help in hitting that, and I love all of the support that I've received so recently. I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.